So welcome back, everybody. I think now we are more caffeine in our veins, so we're ready to start. Legal operation is a reality for many law firms and legal department. It's already out there in many countries. We have been inspired by models from huge organizations like CLOC or AECC, and we discovered that there are many items that we can manage, from financial management to human resources management to information governance, for example. But still, there is a little fog on what legal operations are. When we started to organize this roundtable, we wanted to be very practical. I have the feeling that sometimes we speak about technology and we speak about innovation from a very abstract point of view, and that generates a lot of, stress feeling, like something is going to happen, but it's not clear what. So the goal of this roundtable was to speak about two issues: legal operation and how technology is going to transform legal operation. So we have basically two monsters that pop up from the closet, something completely new to many of you, to many lawyers. But still, like the movie from Walt Disney, maybe these monsters are not so bad. So I hope this conversation can be helpful to discover that technology is a good ally for legal operation, and that we all need to improve efficiency, to be more productive, to do more in less time, basically, but keeping the value of what we are doing. So my idea was asking Sonia and Valentino to speak about their own experience, to go from abstract to the practice side of legal operation, especially considering that it's a new field. We need to see this best practice. We need to be inspired. We do not need to be scared. It can be easy. It can be soft. It can be friendly. It depends on us. I think that in the previous roundtable, we spoke about not just technology. We spoke about culture. We spoke about mindset. We spoke about attitude. We spoke about will of doing things. So this roundtable is specifically about technology, but if we have time, we can leave the floor to the discussion about skills and change in the mindset of everybody in the legal sector. I think we discovered with Carlos and Paco in the roundtable before that really there is a lot of space for rethinking the legal practice, and that the management is really a key part of the practice. It's not just law. We cannot stay in the box anymore. We have to go out, to stay out, to discover the opportunity of being professional also in project management. So basically, we thought that legal operations are a huge area. We can call it area, like in legal department of law firms, or we can call it function, because in a small organization, you have to learn how to do legal operation without having a huge budget or without having so many resources. Still, you need to do it. We didn't think we had enough time to go through all the different items of legal operation, like I mentioned before: business intelligence, information governance, or financial management. We decided just to focus especially on one item, that is legal procurements, e-procurements, because we are talking about technology. So how technology is going to transform legal procurement, and why we should adapt and adopt technology for being more effective in legal procurement. And when I say effective, I mean many things, not just cost cutting, for example, but also to discover a different value or to include some aspects like the ESG criteria. So we will go through this conversation, and we really hope you can enjoy it. Let me go in order, and thanks to Valentino and Sonia for staying here, for giving us an opportunity to discover how technology is changing the game in legal procurements. So we can maybe start from your perspective. We have a different perspective here. Sonia is legal counsel of a legal department in a huge company like Heidelberg Material, and Valentino is corporate relationship manager in Forci Legal, that is an Italian legal tech. So we have the perspective of the buyer and the perspective of the seller. And we thought that it was interesting to discover this crossroad between the buyer and the seller. Because one thing we regret sometimes when we speak about technology is that technology is not understanding the need of the client, at least in the legal sector. So I think we can try to resonate about it, starting from where are you and from what side you are looking at technology and legal operation, especially focusing on legal procurements.
Okay, as I am here the first, I can start. Yes, but before responding to your question, or giving you my approach, I would like to say hello, to say thank you. Even if you have called me a monster, I don't know if I should say thank you anymore. However, I guess you were mentioning this in a positive way. So thank you very much for inviting me. I do think this is a very interesting, very nice event. So very glad to be here. Also glad to be here with Valentino, because as you know, as you are aware, we have worked together in legal technology. We have previously collaborated, so I hope we can share our experience together here. It's a very nice opportunity. So thank you very much. When it comes to my approach as legal counsel, you were mentioning that which are our expectations about technology. This is the idea. And which are my expectations? If I am sincere, I have to say that what we expect is that technology make our work easier, our life easier, really. We are expecting to make our work simpler and the efficient, faster, I would say. And why? Because this way the lawyers, we can focus on legal quality, we can focus on legal profession, we can do what we like to do, be involved in nice projects, in very interesting projects. Like today, for example, if we are using legal technology, if we get rid of administrative work, we will have more time to be in events like this one, talking about innovation, talking about legal innovation. I do think this is our main expectation. Then we will talk about cost. This is something different. Of course, we want to have affordable legal technology that at a good price, let's say, but this is not our main expectation. Our main expectation is efficiency. Also, I have to say that our approach, the approach of the legal departments, have changed completely and have changed regarding technology, and it has changed completely, especially during COVID. I do think that due to COVID, there is a before and an after. And after COVID, the lawyers, which were initially very reluctant, after COVID, now we are ready to adopt technology. We are ready to accept it. And furthermore, we are already using it in a heavy way. Is that we are using Teams, we are using Zoom, we are using artificial intelligence, and of course, we are using many other legal tech, legal tools like legal procurement, like this, as I can explain you later together with Valentino.
So Valentino, you heard it.
Yes,
She's ready.
Ready.
First of all,
what are you going to offer? How do you meet the expectation of the legal department?
First of all, let me say thank you very much to invite me. It's a huge pleasure to be here with you and Sonia, which I think is an outstanding general counsel. I met there, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, working together. Was a tough work, but we reached good result. Yes, I think digital transformation is changing the rules in the legal market. Basically, the digital transformation allows in-house lawyers and external lawyers to bring their service in a different way, to manage their practice in a different ways, even interact between each other in a different way. According to the Gartner research, we see that in 2025, the investment in digital transformation will increase, reaching the 12% of their budget, while in 2020 was 2.6%. So that is the measure how digital transformation is impacting their environment. In our perspective, first legal burn with a mission to create a new legal market where external lawyers and legal department, they can know each other in a different way. So competencies, track records, and pricing marketing cost will be the driver in the selection process. We built up our platform in 2018. We started working in Italy, and with that platform, basically, legal departments, they can apply in their process best practices in buying legal services. On the other hand, they can control data, they can control cost, they can control works done by the external lawyers. It's an opportunity even for law firms. Law firms now have to, explain better the added value to the legal department. The market is huge. So while legal department has to work with you. So technology enables all these facts. And in our opinion, we are just at the beginning in this process.
Great. There are 2 issues that I think are really relevant. Transparency and accountability. There are 2 values. They are 2 values for legal departments. So how is a technology-driven solution expected to enhance accountability and transparency in both sides, legal department and law firm?
The answer is a clear yes, let's say. The technology is really improving transparency and enhancing efficiency and accountability. If you want, I can give you specific examples about that. And even together we can give you specific examples. However, what I do think is very important is that technology, and especially digital legal procurement, is really professionalizing the legal purchase, let's say. And why I say professionalizing is that the lawyers, we used to have an old-style approach to the legal buying experience, let's say, because before, well, I remember I have been working as an in-house for a long time now, and I remember that at the beginning of my career, the driver, when you were buying a legal service, was quality. The quality was the most important. It was the most important criteria when buying services. And this is not the criteria, but now we have additional criteria. In the first step, it was quality. Then it was quality versus cost. So our main problem as in-house lawyer when you were choosing an external law firm was to find the right balance, the equilibrium between cost and quality. Now we have additional drivers. We need to take into account criteria as ESG, for example, or you need to take into account the cost. Before, in the previous table, they were talking about price, and I do think that the price is important, is still important, with inflation even more important, but we need to consider another topics which are the price components. For example, the flexibility on in fees, or the possibility for the law firms to accept caps. This is important. Also, the compliance with the deadlines. In my case, as we are running a big legal department in different countries, it's also very important for us to find a law firm who can offer legal services in different countries. And I say legal services, quality legal services, but also standardized and aligned legal service. With this, considering taking all of this into account, I do think that to have a professional legal purchasing experience is very important. And in order to professionalize the legal procurement, I do think that the legal tech has a say, I would say. I do think that you, Valentino, companies like yours, can be very helpful on that.
Thank you.
I hope you have the same opinion.
Well, I believe that in this moment, quality is still more important than cost when you are buying legal services. A platform that enable the legal department to bring into the process transparency and accountability. That's because you are using best practice in procurement. So if you want to buy a legal services and buying in the same time quality and good cost, you need to know the legal market. So you can know the legal market just doing comparative procedure. So you need to compare why Sonia is better than Hannah, and it's quite difficult to do it without a platform. So in Italy, we have like 256,000 lawyers. Why I have to believe that just Sonia is the best in doing M&A operation is impossible. So what we believe, what we bring to the legal department with our platform is enable new process. So you can build up your digital panel. You can ask to your external provider to give more information, 100,000 information before to take a decision. So building an international panel, it allows the legal department to collect data in personal data, in professional data, IT experience, language experience, and you can even go more deep. So when they try to be accredited in your panel, you can ask which is the specific expertise they had in a specific matter. So collecting this data is much easier for the legal department to find the new balance between cost and quality. We work internationally. We are, thanks to our customer, because we started working from Italy, going abroad, because an international company has subsidiary in different countries. So now we cover more than 60 countries, 60, and we have more than 50,000 lawyers accredited in our platform. So if a legal department needs to know how the specific law firms work, so their expertise, we have those data. And I think that's bring value in the binding process. But in the other hand, is a safe place even for law firms. So you were asking about transparency. Doing a competition by email is quite different than in a platform. So if I'm a lawyer, I'm sure that competing in a platform, I have the same information of my competitors. We have deadlines, so the legal department cannot open the offers before and using this offer maybe to ask for a discount to other suppliers. So yes, I think that digitalization brings transparency and accountability into the legal department. Is a huge opportunity even for legal law firms to make much easier the business development activities. Because thanks to this platform, not just for legal, there are other ones, for instance, in US, you can share your competence, your track records, and for legal department, it's much easier to find it.
Yeah, that's a real benefit for legal department. Basically, we are saying that we are improving the experience of a lawyer in buying of an in-house lawyer in buying a service, and at the same time, we are improving the decision-making process. That's always very good because this time is based on data and is much more objective, transparent than before, so accountable at the end. So that's great. On the other end, we said there is more competition among law firms, but in a safer environment, which guarantee some rights and some processes will be kept. I think we can give the example that we mentioned before, and we can speak about a case that really happened in your legal department and how you did manage this case.
Okay. I'm happy to share I could share many, I have to say, because now, as I was saying at the beginning, we are really working with Legaltech. We are adopting new technology constantly, let's say. But when it comes to legal procurement, I would like to mention my first digital legal procurement experience together with Valentino. It was back in 2020. So it was during the lockdown. It was during the lockdown. This is why I can remember the experience, and also I have to say that it was very difficult. It was very difficult because we were closed at home, so working at home. And also, it was very difficult to involve the teams because, especially my internal team, our internal team in the company, because they were not thinking of change, they were thinking on being alive, let's say. As you might remember, this is what we all have in our heads at the time. So legal tech was not that important, but it was really important, or even work was not that important. What was really important was to preserve your life. However, at the time, I had to hire three law firms, for three different legal topics, antitrust, GDPR, and corporate. And we had to hire the law firms to provide legal service in 28 countries. So
it was a nightmare.
The situation was quite difficult, and it was locked down in Madrid at the time. So impossible to travel, impossible to visit the law firms, very difficult. Of course, I could do everything by email, but I don't think this was the right approach because it would have been impossible. So I thought it was very difficult, but also I thought it could be an opportunity to do something different. And apart from that, it was the only way, as I was saying. Otherwise, I couldn't hire the service. This is why I knew that in my company, we had been working in e-procurement for a long time. So we have a specific tool for e-procurement, but it's funny, this tool had never been used by the lawyers, because usually in e-procurement you buy raw materials, let's say, or you buy whatever, energy, but never the lawyers. Why? Because we have this old style approach. Because we buy quality, you work with the same lawyer you have been previously working, but it's not that we are, or at the time, we were not so innovative. However, I started to search in the market for a possibility for lawyers, and this is how I found your company back in 2020. And they were in Italy because I didn't know, I couldn't find any similar service in another country among those 28. So this is how we first contacted, and we decided to roll out the three digital tenders together. What I remember, and I do think is very important, is that we did a lot of preparation work, because it's not just pressing the button and everything is going to work, is that we need to align. We were aligning. I was giving you very clear criteria, or I think I provided clear criteria. I explained them our request, and in the end, also, we have very clear deadlines. I remember that we finally roll out the tenders at the beginning of July, and can you believe that in 1 month, by the end of July, we already had the three law firms providing different services for 28 countries. And during this month, what we did is that we sent the request, we did the preparation work, then we sent the request, we received the offers, We did Q&A sessions. We organized to clarify with Q&A sessions. We interviewed the people in teams. I remember that having a lot of these interviews with a lot of people. Now we are used, but at the time we were not used. So in some cases we had at least 28 lawyers in the screen, and this was not normal at the time. So we were with our 28 lawyers in the screen, and in the end we were able to choose the law firms. I remember that we received for antitrust 7 offers, for GDPR 5, and for corporate 3. So I mean that it's not that easy, even with with a good offer, big company, nice service. It's not that you have 100 lawyers to work with you. It wasn't that easy, but finally we chose the law firms, as I said, within a month. In August, I do think August, September, we signed the agreements with the lawyers. And it was, I have to say that it was a success, because we are still working with them, and they are still providing service in all those countries. So very, in my case, very interesting experience. I don't know if you can remember something else about the process from your perspective.
Yeah, I remember very well the process, because it has been a real nightmare, because in interacting with the lawyers in 26 countries wasn't done so simple. Let me say that was a special project.
28.
28, all right. Do you remember how much you saved at the end of the process, comparing the market pricing? I think was around the 30–40% of the prices, or even more.
I have to say, to be transparent, that it was very difficult to compare in GDPR, because we didn't have the service previously. Difficult to compare in corporate as well, because it was a new service, but in antitrust, in which we used to have exactly the same service, the cost reduction was by 50%.
Amazing.
Clearly.
Amazing. That is a special project. So it takes like 2 or more weeks to complete the jobs. I mean, it's a special project. We work in 28 countries. In reality, you can run daily beauty contest. We work with insurance company. They deal like 1,500 RFP process per year. So it depends about the kind of project you have to run. Now, as a first legal, we are working to, for instance, I would like to bring to example. We are working to help Germany legal department and increasing their panel in all the EMEA region. So they have now tools to find the right person, the right lawyers in some specific countries. So we are running a qualitative research now into the platform, collecting data and information. And after this first part of the job, we need to run an RFP process in order to engage a law firm with framework agreement. So we can cover all the 60% of the daily activity of these companies abroad. And for the rest, we will run RFP processes. The thing is, First Legal is trying to help the adoption of those platforms into the legal department, because it's the main challenges for providers, but even for legal department, is change mentality, change the way they used to work. So that is the first experience with the German company. Another is an international company opening in Italy a new branch. So it's a new they need to run the new business. They were working just with 2 law firms. Was the best friends of the Germany company. Now they need to increase the number of relationships they have to increase the quality of job and reduce the cost. So RFP process could be a nightmare sometimes, like in this case, because it takes a long time, but it's a simple process. It's just the same things that you send an email to ask for a quotation, you can do it by the platform. So that's it, yeah.
So you do anyway legal tenders. It's just this. If you have the help of technology, it changes everything.
Change everything, but you don't need to do RFP process every time. You can just organize your panel with framework agreement and do RFP process for the rest of the spatial project. But doing RFP process to have new framework agreement reduce cost. For instance, now we were asking to external law firms to provide hourly rated prices, blended fee. So we have packages of hours and the prices will be reducing in the number of hours you work for the legal department. So now we can see how they can reduce pricing comparing to the last 2 years.
So great news. I think that with this as example, we saw that there are challenges, opportunities, maybe also some difficulties in transitioning from a traditional legal procurement to a technology-driven solution. And one of the focus is the part of value we can create, the part of cost we can eliminate, that it's always important. There is another element to close this round table that I think capture the attention of everybody, that is about ESG criteria. I think that in every round table around the world, we are now speaking about ESG criteria. So sometimes it's, I would say, there are policies and they seem very clear, but in their application or integration in what we are doing, we see there is still a gap. So starting from policy to the application, the path is quite large, quite long. Can you give me your impression about ESG criteria? I mean, I know Sonia is now applying a new policy in their own company, and Valentino can maybe speak about how this kind of platform can integrate ESG criteria in the selection of the providers.
Yeah, very quickly, because I see that we don't have much time, but I do think ESG is a key driver at the moment. It's a key criteria. It's not only for lawyers or as well for lawyers, it's for every supplier. In our case, we have a supplier's code of conduct, including topics such as environmental topics, ethics, of course, and working conditions. And we are asking our suppliers to accept our suppliers' codes of conduct. We are even in the contracts, in the agreements we sign with them, we have a specific clause, so it's clear that they are adhering to our suppliers' code of conduct. And this is something we are requesting to the lawyers, but now when we are hiring a legal service, we are also asking them to accept, to comply with our suppliers' code of conduct. And I do think just last that ESG, I mean, this is something which is common, and the lawyers, we can have a key role here, because in the transition to the compliance with ESG, because we understand it, we know the law, and also we understand the importance of compliance, because we have been, in many cases, we have been leading the compliance department for many years. So for me, it's key. Our role can be key. And having said that, I do think that, of course, I do think that the Legaltech can support, can help on these regards.
I will be very quick. I just have more minutes. In the same times, the external lawyers can provide track records in our platform, validated track record. That means a client can confirm that experience has with the customer is true. In the same time, they can share the ESG policies adopted in the office. So we create a list of 27 items, 7 for environmental, 7 for governance, and 7 for social, and 12 for governance. So the external lawyers, they can apply their policies, they can describe the type of activity they done into the office, and they ask to different stakeholders to confirm that this policy is really adopted in the law firm. And in the other hand, legal departments, when they run a beauty contest, they don't compare just quality, organization, and cost, but even the ESG policy. So if at the end of the RFP process, we have same quality and same cost, the winner will be the law firm that adopted more ESG policies. But I think there is very much to do. We are at the beginning, but it's just something. Yeah, you can track, you can measure the impact of ESG policy in your supply chain.
So thank you very much, Valentino. Thank you very much, Sonia. I hope everybody has enjoyed this conversation. We tried to eliminate some fog from legal operation and technology and give you some examples. So the way is open this path is open, and now it's time to go on and to make much more experiment, because this is about also to experiment, not just to have all the answer, but to make the right questions. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.